Thanks to my background in fashion design, I'm understandably the one that gets called on when something goes wrong. So over the years, I've put together sort of an emergency kit that I take to various weddings, shows, pageants, etc. So here's a What's in My Bag Fashion Emergency Edition. I used to be a designer, and part of that job was that I worked anywhere from 10 to 14 photo shoots a year, plus various shoots for specialty things like ads, cover, etc., and things like runway shows, a whole bunch of very off-the-wall things with a lot of apparel being the key. So over the years, I developed a little kit that I just kept packed and restocked as needed and took it with me to any of those events professionally that I thought it might come in handy at. And eventually, I figured it was a good idea to start taking it to personal events that it also could come in handy. I take the same exact kit to anything from dance recitals and pageants to weddings, anywhere that there might be some sort of a last-minute fashion disaster. I take this kit. Even if I just leave it in the trunk of a car, I like to have it conveniently located and handy just in case. Over the years, I've had to sew no less than 3 brides into wedding gowns. I've had to hem bridesmaids' dresses. I've had to fix zippers, buttons, etc. over the years. So having this kit with me has been super helpful and saved the day plenty of times. First is the container itself. I really love this one. I've had it for years, but I've seen the exact same container at Dollar General as recently as a few weeks ago. I like that it's clear, so you can see at a glance which section is which, so you know, oh, there's the glue, there's the needle, there's the yellow thread, whatever you're looking for, and you can just dive into the section that you need immediately without having to root through a bunch of not necessary items. I also really like that one tier is partitioned, so it separates various different types of things, so I don't have to have a million individual little containers, one container for straight pins, one for safety pins, etc., so that I'm diving into a bunch of different little containers and having to open and close a bunch of different things. I can just reach in and grab what I'm looking for immediately. When you're dealing with sort of a backstage situation, whether that's right before a wedding, or your niece is about to go on stage at a dance recital, or whatever, sometimes speed is of the essence. So being able to get to what I need immediately is definitely a key feature. Mostly I keep it set up essentially the same, but occasionally for a specific event, I will add or subtract things that I might specifically need that day. For instance, at my niece's pageant, she was wearing a yellow evening gown, so just in case, I made sure to include specifically a matching spool of yellow thread, and I even went ahead and had a needle threaded up with this yellow thread just in case, so I wouldn't have to be threading a needle in a rush backstage. If I needed it, it was ready to go. I also had a variety of the same rhinestones that I had used on her outfits for that pageant in the top tier, ready to go in case she lost a crucial one and I wanted to go ahead and replace that at the very last moment. In this top tier, I also keep this small container with various fasteners, so hooks and eyes, the sort of pants clips that you'll see on like a pair of ladies' dress pants, all those sorts of things. Very convenient if I have a minute and I don't want to actually sew somebody into a garment. Maybe I have to get them into it and it's not closing now, but they have to get out of it again quickly later. Sometimes it is worth the extra time to actually put on a fastener. So the sort of standard things that are always in this top tier include a bunch of safety pins and straight pins, there's a variety of basic neutral thread colors. I always make sure I at least have black, white, and gray, because at least one of those is going to tone into most colors. The second tier is for sort of the non-sewing or construction fashion emergency items. So anything that is needing a quick fix, but doesn't require me breaking out needle or thread or anything like that. In this section, I keep small containers of wrinkle releaser and static guard, as well as a miniature manicure kit. One thing I have found helpful before is a thing of clear nail polish. If you need to seal something very quickly, this works, as well as if somebody has a little bit of nail polish on that you need to get off quickly, this can help with that. It's just nice to have just in case. I also keep a variety of hair clips, bobby pins, etc. I like to have different styles and colors, to help fix a falling down hairstyle, but also sometimes it's just really nice to be able to clip something out of the way, whether that's hair, fabric, whatever. And for instance, right now I still have in here some extra headpieces from my niece's pageant. So I have a few extra options for her yellow evening gown, as well as a couple of more neutral basic things for maybe like her outfit of choice. Just things that are pretty and will go with a lot of variety of looks are very helpful to have, because you just never know when you're going to need that little extra something. The last section is a little bit more random, but it's definitely full of things that I have used all of these in the past and they've really, really come in handy. For instance, I always like to have a hot glue gun as well as a few extra glue sticks. Hot glue works on a bunch of different things, even if it's not a permanent bond, but it will get you something out onto stage or out in front of the audience or whatever, and it will last just long enough. So I always like to have a hot glue gun around, especially since they do heat up rather quickly and then the glue sets quickly. Whereas something like this tacky glue, which I've definitely used in the past, it takes a lot longer to set. So if I'm backstage and I don't have a lot of time, I use the hot glue gun, but if it's like the night before and something has come off, this is really good because it will last longer in a lot of situations, but it does take longer to set. So I like to have both options because some situations call for different uses. I also like to keep a pair of scissors and a small utility knife in this container because you just never know what you're going to have to open or cut off or whatever. So having a couple of different options for different uses, definitely very handy and convenient. I also find that you never know when some random paperwork or a card to sign or a list you're going to have to check off will come up. So I like to keep a variety of writing utensils. I have a pen and a pencil, a highlighter, and a black and a silver Sharpie. That pretty much covers any basic need I would have. I mean, I could do a quick drawing with all this if I needed to, but it covers all my bases, and if something comes up that needs to be written, I have it all covered and I'm ready to go. One thing that doesn't usually come up when I'm not dealing with dancers, but occasionally does, is something like a fraying ribbon. When the edge just keeps coming undone, 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 you can keep clipping it off, but sometimes it just seems like it just does not want to stop fraying. So in that case, I have this small little like candle lighter that it folds up nice and tiny. It fits in here really well, and if I need to singe off the edge of a ribbon, this works very quickly. It's perfect for that, and I don't have a bunch of loose matches and whatnot in here that I'm then gonna have to deal with. Like, what do I do with a burnt match when I'm standing backstage or something? This is just click it on and off and you're ready to go. And then my final item that was in here by complete chance one time, but now I always leave it in here because I absolutely needed it and it came in so handy one time, is a very tiny artist's brush. I had this in here randomly one time because I had been working on a particular project, and then I forgot it in here whenever I unpacked everything for the next job. And I was backstage at my niece's pageant and another girl was stuck in her dress. The zipper was completely jammed and stuck. Everyone was tugging on it. Nobody could get it to move at all. And in that room was a small sink with liquid hand soap. So I took this little brush and just very carefully painted soap down the zipper to get the zipper unstuck. The tiny little brush let me get the soap just on the zipper so I wasn't ruining the fabric of the dress, but it was nice and precise and right there on the zipper, and before you knew it, boom, zipper was undone, the little girl was out of her dress and able to change to go on to the next section of the competition. So I definitely keep this brush on hand now, just in case I get another stuck zipper. So that is my fashion emergency kit. It's very, very helpful from everything from formal occasions like weddings or proms, any sort of dance recital or competition, pageants, anything you can imagine. This has been super helpful. If you're into theater and you either are in a show or you're working backstage, convenient things to have around because someone's going to be screaming at some point that something's gone wrong, and hopefully this will help you fix that problem. I hope you found this helpful and inspiring. If you did, please like down below. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. I upload a new video every Monday and Thursday. Have a beautiful day, and I'll see you next time.